Hello and welcome to the new book releases for the week of November 18th. This week we have some anticipated releases for several people that'll be showing up. I'm Morgan. If this is your first time here, we'll have timestamps per genre. I hope you enjoy it and you'll stick around for more. First up this week, we're going to dive into Romantasy with the start of a new duet, The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. This is part overall of the Crowns of Nyaxia series that's broken up into 3 duets, focusing on the 3 different houses of the vampire court? Vampire rulers, regions, something of that. This time we are focusing on the shadow? I forgot. And it's not in my notes. Okay, moving on though. In the descent to the underworld, a bride of the sun must choose between the light of her redemption or a dark love that defies the gods themselves. Misha lost everything when she was forcibly turned into a vampire. Her home, her humanity, and most devastating of all, the love of the sun god whom she had devoted her life. Now, sentenced to death for murdering the vampire prince who turned her, redemption feels impossible. But when Misha is saved by Asar, the bastard prince of the House of Shadow with a past as brutal as his scars, she's forced into a mission worse than execution, a journey to the underworld to resurrect the god of death himself. So this one is following a character that we saw before in the first. She was one of our side characters who you did find out a little bit of her backstory. The door lock is not locked. Door is no longer beeping, and we'll go ahead and move on to our next book. This is The Half King by Melissa Landers. The great betrayal changed everything for the Allied realm. Long ago, the kingdom's noble houses rose up against the goddess, and for their treachery, the firstborn of each noble family is cursed. One with perilous beauty, one with destructive knowledge, one with insatiable bloodlust. But the royal house Mortara received the worst affliction of all. For while the king exists during the day, he fades into nothingness at night, until his 21st birthday, when he will be lost to the shadows forever. It did not say the series name, but that is supposed to be the first in some sort of a series, either a duology or trilogy. I feel like probably it'll end up being a trilogy, but it did say the sequel is forthcoming though. We move on to The Serpent and the Roof. The Serpent and the Wolf by Rebecca Robinson. I said roof. Okay, me. All her life, Vasa Khazar has been sharpened into a blade after losing her mother, her only remaining parent, to a mysterious dark magic that has since awakened within her. Vasa is certain death looms. So is her merciless brother, who aims to eliminate Vasa as a threat to his crown. In one last political scheme, he marries her off to Reed of Myria, a ruthless foreign ruler, in hopes that he can use her death as a rallying cry to finally invade Reed's nation. All Vasa has to do is die. Now we get into regular fantasy, with the first one maybe still touching on hints of romance, if some of the reviews are to be believed, or yes. The Last Hour Between Worlds by Melissa Caruso. In the deep echoes, no one can save you. Star investigator Kimberl Thorne is a few hours away from her newborn, and she just wants to relax and enjoy the year-turning party. But when people start dropping dead, she's got to get to work, especially when she finds that mysterious forces are plunging the whole party down through layers of reality and into nightmare. One layer down. It's no big deal. Stay alert and you'll be fine. 2, 3. Feel like there was another one that did say 3 layers down after this one though. It says 2, 3 layers down. Natural laws are negotiable and things get very strange. Then we have one that it is a character in a series that has happened before, but this is just being revamped for a new generation. It says to introduce a new generation. That's Red Sonja, Consumed by Gail Simone. I don't know how to say it because I've never read of the character before. The warrior Red Sonja, the famous fiery she-devil of Hirikana, has never concerned herself with the consequences of her actions. She's taken what she wanted, from treasure to drink to the companionship of bedfellows. She's fought who deserved it and sometimes those who didn't, and she's never looked back. I should have gotten more for you. I'm sorry, but that's where I cut it off. Moving on, though, to The City and Its Uncertain Walls by Haruki Murakami and translated by Philip Gabriel. We begin with a nameless young couple, a boy and a girl, teenagers in love. One day, she disappears, and her absence haunts him for the rest of his life. Thus begins a search for his lost love that takes the man into middle age and on a journey between the real world and an other world, a mysterious, perhaps imaginary, walled town where unicorns roam, where a gatekeeper determines who can enter and who must remain behind, and where shadows become untethered from their selves. Listening to his own dreams and premonitions, the man leaves his life in Tokyo behind and ventures into a small mountain town, where he becomes the head librarian, only to learn the mysterious circumstances surrounding the gentleman who had the job before him. This one was possibly more speculative fiction, bordering with the fantasy urbanness. I think similar to how the other Murakami books have kind of been, or those were speculative sci-fi, I don't know. But this one borders world fiction, fantasy realms. And our next one, as we move into sci-fi, is a dystopian sci-fi urban fiction. Yes, it's also a debut novel for the author. The Final Orchard by C.J. Rivera. In a society where bionic enhancements are the epitome of wealth and power, scientific researcher Dr. Rosario Arata threatens to topple her status quo with her pioneering organic enhancements. Yet, when a horrific accident kills her daughter, Rose's quest for answers leads her to becoming trapped in a twisted version of her life's work. In a bleak underground colony, 16-year-old Ever is primed to rise through the ranks, gain selection, and become a savior. It's her dream to journey to the surface and fight an army of forms overwhelming the globe, catching up with the boy she loves in the process. Yet nothing in this world is what it seems, and soon the secrets buried in her bunker begin to unravel, threatening the future of everything. So that is adult sci-fi, but it does say it takes inspiration, from the dystopian YAs. Moving into YA, we have the conclusion of the Luminary series, The Whispering Night by Susan Dennard. In this one, we are in the town of Hemlock Falls following Winnie Wednesday, as each family in this place has their last name being a day of the week. Is there any people without weekday last names? All the Hunter families are, but it's her goal to become a luminary, or someone who goes out and keeps the magic status quo, hunts witches and bad things, and the real world doesn't know about anything of the magical world. And that is their job, that they keep that from happening. There's not just them there, though there are other cities around the globe that's all part of this organization. But Winnie's family is on the outs because of something her father did. And so her whole little immediate family is being punished for this by the whole Wednesday clan. So she can't take the Luminaries exam because she's on the outs. And the whole first book is her competing in the exam. And we're going to move on from that. The conclusion is out now. I know a lot of people liked it. Then we have the second book in a trilogy, Serpent Sea by Myra Abraham. This one follows Spice Road, where you're in a desert city with people who know how to use abilities granted to them by a certain tea. And we're following one specific character who has iron-wielding abilities, I think, as she is setting out on a quest to find her brother who was banished or left, as there seems to be a traitor among them telling their secrets to neighboring cities. I should have looked up more of the description. Yes, he was trading their secrets to somewhere else, so she strikes a deal with the council to promote herself and not let his reputation tarnish hers, to where she will go find him and bring him back and protect their city and their secrets. And that, I don't think, went super well, and that is why we have the second book, I think, where they're readying for something else. We'll move on, though, to our mysteries, with the first one up being Now or Never by Janet Ivanovich. This one is number 31 in the Stephanie Plum series. And I don't know if this is a Christmas book, but the special editions have a Christmas bauble on the cover instead of what the regular editions have. I didn't read the description because I'm 3 books behind, but this one is following still Stephanie Plum, our semi-competent bounty hunter in New Jersey, who just wants to make enough to not even, she doesn't want to be rich. She doesn't try to be one of those types of bounty hunters. She just wants to make enough to pay her bills, maybe get her parents off her back about, living on her own in a not safe neighborhood. Well, the neighborhood's safe, except, she keeps getting bombed and stuff. Yeah, it's a very interesting series. It is silly. It's very silly, mostly with Lula and Grandma Mazur, and I think it's funny. We move on, though, to our last book is Trial by Fire by Danielle Still. Born to a French mother and an American father, graceful Dahlia de Beaumont has been the sole owner and CEO of the venerable family perfume business based in Paris since her early 20s, following the death of her parents. For 25 years after losing her young skier husband in an avalanche, her life has centered on running Lambert Perfumes and being a devoted single mother to her 4 now adult children. Dahlia comes to San Francisco on a routine business trip to check her stores in the States, but shortly after her arrival, bushfires ignite in Napa Valley. Watching the sweeping devastation on the news, Dahlia is moved to help, but doing so will bring unforeseen consequences. I'm not entirely sure why this is a mystery. Maybe it wasn't a mystery. Maybe that was supposed to be a fiction, and I misclassified it. That is all on the list for this week, though. If you know of anything else coming out that you want to let people know about, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. Maybe, though, you were able to find a book to pick out on this list that you want to start, and I hope you enjoyed this video. You'll check out some of my other ones and subscribe. I hope you're finding something awesome to read today, and I'll see you in the next one.